Today's video card shows off the new Petite Tiled Squares striplet. Now I do love doing stepped cards, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video. I'll show you the dies we'll be using. Here it is, the Petite Striplet called Tiled Squares. And the sentiment and the middle focal element are going to be from both the Swiss Collection Geneva and the Swiss Collection Bern sets. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done a little bit of advanced cutting. This is the sort of card that does require using the same die over a few times. So what I'm going to do is show you what we've done. I've used the center of the tiled squares to cut just the decorative insert out of the card. Now, the way I go about making these cards is I will do the actual pieces first, get them all ready, and use them to kind of space out the insets. So to do one of these, I've cut the tiled squares in white. I've also cut it again in black, just like that. Glued them together and just barely offset them so you have a pretty shadow, okay? Then I've backed this with blue dusk card. So you've got the pretty blue showing through that. And I've done 3 of those ahead of time. Now, what I do to kind of measure this rather than using a ruler per se is I take this and set it where I want it, then put the inset from the tiled squares in place and cut it. Then I can move this over to where I want it, put this just where it needs to be. Once it's cut, that will be lined up perfect, and I'll tape that into place, a little bit of the removable tape, and just to make sure I haven't wiggled it too much, I'll double check that, make sure it still looks like it's even. That looks good. And if you want, you can take a ruler and you can check the distance from the bottom. I'll go ahead and give you an overhead overall measurement. 7 inches by 5.5 is what I've used on the blue dusk here. So let's go ahead and cut that. Pop that in. And when you're cutting dies like this that are long and skinny, or any die for that matter, it is easier to roll that so that it goes through the machine this way rather than like that, because that way the rollers will roll over the entire length of that, and it just gives you a better cut. And I'll bring it back towards us. Go. And using my tool-in-one, let's take out all the little bits. Carefully untape that. It won't take out the bits that are underneath the tape until you remove it. There we go. Peel that off. So now I've got 2 perfectly cut pieces that are actually in the card itself. Now the other thing I would do is die cut the black ones to go behind that. So I would do 2 more of these, and I would just offset them ever so slightly, glue them into place so that you would have a shadow on those as well. And I've gone ahead and done that on this piece here. So you can see I've got a background done the same way with the black shadow in place. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that onto our background. I've added some mounting foam because I like that stair step, that raised dimension, step down, step up, and just think it looks really pretty on your cards. So I've put mounting foam between all the pieces to keep it nice and flat. And I'm just going to pop that in the middle of my piercing. There we go. I've gone ahead and pierced a white mat. I've added a blue dusk and a black mat just to tie in those colors, so I think it gives it a nice balance. All right, and now I've got the 3 of these that I've gone ahead and done ahead of time. A little bit of adhesive on that. Let me use my remover and take that off. There we go. Same thing with these. I've added some mounting foam to the back, so we'll pop them into place. So I've got one that goes on this side, just sort of center it, because you've got the outer edge to these. They're a tiny bit longer, obviously. Make sure I've got that nice and straight. And the last one here. So now we've got a really nice stair-stepped background for our card. So I'm going to go ahead and add our sentiment. And I've cut the center, this die here, from the Bern, from the Swiss collection, giving me a really pretty edge out of the white, and that is going to serve as sort of a backdrop. I'll put that right into the middle of the card, and let me just See, that looks nice and centered there. You can kind of sort of line up the center of the dots with the center of the squares on the striplet. And because these dies all sort of matte and layer in the middle, they have the same shape to them, just different sizes. I've used the center of the Geneva as a nice little layer on top of this one as well. So you can see how pretty those look. Oops, let's take that out. And I've cut my sentiment out with the center of the Geneva. I've just gone around the edge a little bit with some Decadent Denim Color Cloud, just to bring in a little bit of that blue dusk color. And added some mounting foam and pop that right into the center. So I think you can see the beautiful shadow, how it comes out now that you've put it against the white background. You've got the nice stair-step effect. So there's a lot going on with this card. You could certainly add some flowers, dress it up, make it your own, change it to any way you like. But this just gives you a lovely sort of foundation to build from.